a fabulous start.
How about the Corvette crew?
The battle is absolutely raging on the high banks.
And their 100th program win. Look at the celebration.
The crew, drivers, everybody just performed perfectly today.
These two Corvettes side by side. It is Gavin.
Thrill for everybody at Corvette Racing and our C7R teammates Jan here. He did a brilliant job.
Thanks, buddy. Brilliant.
For Oliver, Gavin, and Jan Magnussen, the journey into the Corvette Hall of Fame began long before they joined Corvette Racing, with both drivers forging successful careers in motorsports from humble beginnings.
I grew up in Denmark. I got involved with motorsports from a very young age, and when I was 10, I started to race with go-karts. I had a good go-karting career, won the World Championship 3 times.
My father got my brother and I into kart racing. We had this amazing sort of childhood going all around the UK racing karts and racing a lot of the guys that I ended up racing against in cars many, many years later. So did a full season in Formula First in 1991, won that championship, won I think 11 of the 12 races I competed in, and then won the McLaren Autosport Young Driver of the Year award, and that was really a big, big part of my career and given me a great launch pad.
The first memory I have of racing against Ollie was at the Formula Ford Festival in 1992, where him and I were fighting for the win.
And we were wheel to wheel all the way for a lap or so, and he ended up beating me.
I talk about that a lot when I see him.
2001 was really my first great opportunity in sports car racing. I was competing against the Corvettes.
Oliver Gavin now behind the wheel. It'll be interesting to watch him try to fight off the Corvettes.
That victory that we had there was really the thing that was my launch pad with Corvette. Because I remember the last stop that I came in for on that race, as the fuel was going in, I was looking up the pit wall, and the two people that were sitting there watching me, Doug Feehan and Gary Pratt.
Ron Fellows actually came to me, who was driving for us at that point in time, and said this guy, Gavin, who he had encountered on the racetrack, has a pretty good skill set. We had built a reputation around Corvette that our customer was going to be part of our race team. And Oliver really had the ability to identify with the public as well.
Corvette fans are massively passionate, and that was something that I really came to learn, you know, over the next 20 years, how passionate they are about their racing, but also about the vehicle.
Jan was always tough to beat and super aggressive. You knew, and the other drivers knew, when Jan got to you, he was coming by one way or the other.
There was always a Jan Magnussen comment, you know, just how fast that guy was and how he got every bit of speed out of that car that was possible, and a lot of times more.
Jan is a Viking. Yeah, Jan, he was just a machine everywhere he went. He's super fast, super focused, could drive whatever you gave him.
He had a reputation as kind of a wild child, and I think he recognized that coming into Corvette racing provided you the opportunity to create actually a home.
They put their egos in their back pocket, all with the sole purpose of cooperation, winning, teamwork for the good of all.
Hey, buddy! Not only do they have to drive a race car in the heat of battle, they get out of the car and be this fantastic ambassador for the production car to our customers that not only are enthusiastic about racing, but are owners of our product, interested in our product.
Coming to Corvette and experiencing the love from the fans, to go and talk to them and listen to them, sign autographs, take pictures, sign their cars, was absolutely amazing.
One place that deep-rooted passion was on full display was at the historic 24 Hours of Le Mans, where the two teammates would begin a 3-year run of success at the ultimate endurance race.
We'd all dreamed about going to the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Absolutely, Le Mans is the pinnacle of racing. It felt like a year worth of testing, and then one weekend in June, we were showing everybody what we had.
You get the goosebumps when you go and stand there on the grid when everybody's lining up. It's just such a special event.
We're on the Mulsanne Strait, if you've ever been there, and you hear this full-throated Chevrolet V8 just screaming through the woods at the middle of the night. People would flock to the track.
We had endeared ourselves to the fan base in Europe. We had endeared ourselves to our fan base here, and we knew there was going to be that burden. We were carrying the mantle, not just for Corvette, but for America as well.
Certainly those Le Mans victories, 2004 to 2006, were really something very, very special. You know, that was, I look back on that period really with great fondness.
The whole team had the attitude, we're here to win races. We're good enough to win. We never sat on our laurels. We always tried to get better. It was a great run.
Well, standing on the podium at Le Mans for a Danish driver is a fantastic experience, because that's when you see all the Danish fans. Brings out a lot of emotion, but it's great to stand up there, represent Corvette Racing and all they stand for and all the hard work that they just put into it.
By 2007, Jan would begin to pilot the number 3 Corvette, but different cockpits wouldn't deter that same pursuit of excellence for the teammates.
When we stopped driving together and we were against one another in qualifying or at the start of races, God, bloody, it was titanic battles, and sometimes, you know, he'd get the better of me or I'd get the better of him.
He was super quick and he's smart, he's clever, how he drives on the track. Best thing you could do was just to outdrive him, but that wasn't always the case, that you could do that.
He loved to chase somebody. So my engineer would be always talking about, do not go out in front of Jan, because it's that sort of, that carrot that he sometimes needs.
I mean, the #1 goal was to race for Corvette, so the inter-team competition had to be controlled as much as possible, but it was also healthy, I feel, to push each other that way.
And in the end, you'd have to sort of come back and go, okay, one of our cars has been successful, and for the program and for the brand, that was the most important thing.
And that unique dynamic was never more evident than in 2016 at the World Center of Racing.
This is the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Let's go! The twice round-the-clock classic begins now.
The race had progressed very well for us. The cars are running 1-2. Ollie was in the lead car, and Antonio was in the second place car. And it was quite evident that the closure rate that Antonio was having on Oliver, when we were coming down to the finish line, these two guys were going to be capable of racing each other.
You know, a lot of other teams might have issued instructions, say, hey, follow each other, you're staying where you're at. And Mark Royce was standing behind us. He said, let him race, so we got to let him race.
Both drivers were told you are allowed to race.
There was a look of inquisitiveness. Why would we ever want to just let them race? And I said, look around the pit box. Look at the faces on these guys who have just spent the last 23 hours sleepless. How are you going to tell them that you're going to rob them of their opportunity to win the race?
Jim Campbell, Mark Royce, everybody at GM, Pratt & Miller are incredibly proud and incredibly nervous.
But Ollie and Antonio raced each other super hard, but super fair. But it got a little bit exciting because, okay, that's also when things can go wrong.
Garcia now along the outside, and that run allows him to take it down.
Can he stop it? No!
Oh, he's going to get inside. He's going to get him. Gavin gets him back.
I remember coming off of the final bus stop chicane for the final time, and I remember doing what I would do in a go-kart, and I'll be jumping up and down, trying to make the car go faster, and I'll be sort of like willing the car on to the finish line.
Here we go. This is GT Le Mans at its finest. These two Corvettes side by side at the line. It is Gavin and Corvette number 4 winning at Daytona.
We were also gutted that we didn't get it. It was so close, and you know, had the start-finish line been a little bit further down, it would have been different. But one for the history books, both for the result, but also how the team conducted itself. It also showed that the whole team really are true racers.
I think it's the one that someone like Gary Pratt was the most proud of, to have both of his cars there competing like that so hard and that close together at the end of the race. I think that's one of the races he's most proud of.
That dedication to the mission would continue away from the racetrack, each man working to uphold the legacy of the Corvette brand, showcasing American engineering prowess and innovation on the global stage.
Both Jan and Ollie were part of development of the Corvette production car. They both can feel just as proud of their racing accomplishments as how great the production car became.
I was part of the program through the development of the C8, and it was really, really interesting being part of the development of that car with all the time that was spent in the simulator getting ready for the real car, and then starting track testing.
I witnessed this crossover, this integration of race team and the production team. And the race drivers, they're playing the instrument and using it to its absolute pinnacle, sometimes even pushing the limits on the racetrack. And that has huge benefits all the way around.
As Oliver Gavin and Jan Magnussen are set to be inducted into the Corvette Hall of Fame for their contributions, both on and off the track, their legacy continues to inspire future generations of Corvette racers.
You know, it's not normal in motorsports that a driver stays in the same team for that long. That's also what made us great. We were here for a single goal. Everybody knew that, and there was all the right ingredients to have a great team.
I had such an amazing time with Corvette Racing and with the teammates that I drove with and the people that I worked with. I mean, it was just a dream I had when I was a boy that I might end up be a racing driver. And it's a job that you do, and all the time you're pinching yourself.
That's the most successful era of Corvette racing in history. And they really will share that legacy.
It absolutely means the world to me to be inducted into the Corvette Hall of Fame, and to be inducted with Gavin means a lot.
I'm very proud to be up there on stage with the likes of Jan and Richard Prince and also Tad Jukta. You know, the four of us, I think we can be all very proud in what we've achieved.
Jan, Ollie, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you've done for Corvette Racing. You guys are so deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, and I'm glad they're bringing you both in at the same time. Great job, guys.
For their roles as driving forces behind Corvette Racing's dominance on the global stage, we present Oliver Gavin and Jan Magnussen into the Corvette Hall of Fame.